Okay, hi, good everyone. So I'm going to be showing you what I've intended to do moving forward, and I feel this is going to be very, very helpful. So in the past, I would have a whole lot, like a whole lot of activities, and I was actually very bad at any of them. Imagine having to have so many things, but yet still not able to do any of them properly. Now that was what it was like for me. And a huge part of it is because I didn't really know how to convey what I want to do. Like imagine where you want to do something right now and you don't know how to tell the next person that this is what I want to do. So this made it so difficult that instead of me to tell you, okay, this is what I want to do, this is how it should be done, I find myself not being able to communicate it. So I just get to do it by the way myself. Just let me go get it done since it's hard for me to tell you. And then the few times I tried really walking along with people to see how I can get this done, um sometimes train a whole lot of people and you build a whole lot to them. Like you train them, you work with them for long, you show them how things have been done here, and then something happens, they are no longer working with you. So now this means that you have to get a whole lot of people again and repeat that same step, which means time you should have been using for other things. You now get to use it to train this new set of people. Now, these were the kind of issues I had in my life that made me very unstable. So I'm here, I'm not here, I'm here, I'm not here. Everything was very hard to manage. And then finally, we still had the part where you would sometimes put people in charge of things and then they just really betray that trust. So, with every single thing that has happened, this was actually why I had to go learn properly on how to run and manage a firm. I had a passion for the software programming thing. And I just told myself if I would actually have to get good at the software programming thing, I would have to focus on what I know how to do best: design system, build model, administer, engineer, make sure the whole things are being deployed the way they should. It shouldn't just be all about me coding, it should be all about me leading a team. It should be all about me providing reliable service. It should be all about me being efficient. And one man can never be efficient alone. No man is an island, no man is an encyclopedia. You always need people to work with you. So despite the whole ups and downs, despite everything that happened, instead of keep on, or feeling bad and betrayed or still trying to do everything myself, I had gone into that journey of trying to learn how to build a tech firm. So it was a very beautiful journey. But what I finally came in conclusion to be able to be reliable is to run on this model I'm about to show you. So now I'm going to show you a model I drafted. Now this model is very, very important. It's going to make things extremely easy for me. So the first model is what we call intentionality. So I knew about the intentionality model when I wanted to work with GPT. So few weeks ago, I had an urgent need. What was this urgent need? I needed to employ contracts or independent contractors. So what do I mean by independent contractors? So usually the way it works in a firm, there are two ways you could have people on your firm. You could have people work with you on a full-time employment. This is where like they get to work with you and every month you pay them a fixed salary. Or you could have people just come in once in a while and do some jobs and they go. But you wouldn't just want people to come, do these jobs and go. You would want some level of document to bind the, you know, the relationship together. If not, you might run into surprises and you might not be able to claim damages or sue. So let me give you a context. The OKEC bot, you must have heard of the OKEC bot project, which is the web automation browser. When I created this project, I did it with a team. Now, this team had access to the codes but practically I had my UI UX designer, which is the one I ended up leaving the platform for, to do medias while I was away building the software. I had him handle most of the code projects. Now there were so many things that occurred, not just between him and other members, which like I said, these things are past tense, I don't live around them. But now somewhere in between, my trust was breached. Now so many things happened from non-solicitation, where somebody is going to message the customer. This someone else, my previous operational manager would use another phone to chat the person. Imagine it this way. Somebody came in to buy a cake bots or whatever. My operational manager will go to the back, tell the person, don't mention whatever we were discussing on this Dannyokec WhatsApp, which is the official WhatsApp. I could give you a deal at a lower price. Make sure you don't state it here. And this person was having confidential, no solicitation, business agreement with people. We still had other things that happened, like source code being resold to some other people. I was shocked when some developers contacted me because I'm good with writing my license. Like if I'm writing any code as a software developer, I like documenting my license. So I learned that the hard way. If you're building a project on GitHub or wherever, make sure you have a license. It's very important. If anybody steals your code, if you can find where, let me show you an example of what I mean. Let me see if I can access my GitHub here and show you what I mean by that. So GitHub should be okay. Let me open. I have lots of browsers over here. So let me head over to my CEO at dannyokec.com. Okay, so this is my CEO at dannyokec.com. Okay, so let me head over to my GitHub and let me show you what a license would look like. So on my GitHub, I will head over to my organization because as a tech founder, you don't use your private GitHub to host companies projects. You use your organization GitHub. Okay, so I'm going to head over to the Okekboard Desktop app. I think this one even came in after. This one came in after I've done another modification. It should be somewhere around here. Okay, look at it over here. License. You can see a license. So you can see this license was way back 2023, right? Now I'm trying to explain something to you. If you steal this code right now, and I can take it to court and prove with all, like, beyond all reasonable doubt, this license was 2 years ago, and they checked the code base, like this, the data there on the code base is showing that these were things that were checked on the commit, and then for whatever reason an employee took that code and decided to sell it to someone else. The person will compensate you. The company will have to drop that project. They will have to pay you compensation. It's a whole lot. You as a software tech founder would be compensated for that breach of trust. Now, however, as of when um like this happened, I couldn't enforce this contract, and this is why. When I worked with these people, the previous team I had worked with, I didn't really have a strong contract. So I did not really write a strong contract that would bind me and them. Right. So the contract was not strong. And so because of this, I couldn't do anything. Now you would ask me, why didn't I employ a lawyer? Now that's the problem. We don't have lawyers in Nigeria that are tech inclined. The ones we have might be good with divorce cases, they might be good with land disputes, they might be good with criminal cases, but digital lawyers that are good with digital, IP, intellectual property, digital, cases, litigation, corporate litigation, digital laws, we don't have much of them. And so when I actually got into this thing, I did not know. I was busy employing any person, right? Imagine right now where you want to go get a doctor. We have a dentist. A dentist is for teeth. We have an optician. Optician is for eyes. We have a dermatologist for skin. We have a gynecologist for women. We have a surgeon for surgery. We have a neurologist for the neural system. We have a psychologist for the mind. You see the way I'm naming them? In law, we have different part of law. We have a criminal lawyer. We have international law. There are lots of laws, like different departments. If you go to the hospital and you tell a dentist that does teeth to check your eyes, he will tell you no, you should go and look for an optician. If you meet an optician that does eye and tell them they should remove your fibroid or appendix, or you want to have a vasectomy, they'll tell you no, you should go and meet a surgeon. So, but I did not know this. I was just this guy who knows how to code, right? So I was a software developer. I just know how to write PHP, Python, Java. I didn't know how to. I used to see people like Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg, skyscraper building, and they were all tech founders. I was wondering how I could get to that position, but I didn't really know it was more of the strategic planning and system engineering. So because of this, I would just employ anybody that calls themselves a lawyer and will write bullshit out contracts for me that doesn't hold waters. So because of the number of disputes I've had and the amount of ups and downs, I now had to start reading these documents like crazy. Like as I'm talking to you right now, I should go back to school and start studying law because the amount of books I read every day, I read a whole lot, and I'm always reading because I don't have any other option than to read, right? You can't run a tech company as a software developer without knowing all the rules, compliance, and everything because it's a mean world. You have people who would come against you. You have people who you would have to fight damages for. You have to protect yourself against surprises. There's so many things, and you have to make sure there's so many things you need to put in order. And most of these things are not things that somebody else will do for you. You have to do them yourself. And so this was why I was extremely focused on writing this contract with Gemini. So it actually came at a fee. I lost a whole lot. If I didn't lose anything, I lost like a whole lot because people started complaining I was not available and all that. Anyway, how did I started drafting this document? So when I wanted to write this independent contract or agreement, I wanted those things I did before to like I wanted to fix the problems I had before. So part of the problems I had before was I was paying monthly salary. That thing was not good though. I was paying as much as 500K a month. I've paid 750 like 3 months at a stretch before, and then we had to renegotiate to 500. And the team members had to leave because they were senior devs. I was paying in naira. They were already used to earning in dollar. I had people I was paying 250, 150, 400. But the problem is, every month I spend like almost 10, 15, 10, 12, 15 million most times because I would hire more people today, and tomorrow I would have to relieve some people. Next tomorrow I have to hire people. So this was how my business was, right? So I kind of in two major ways. Firstly, I'll come back there. I kind of in two major ways. The first way I in is that I get gigs or job. So I could have lots of deals this month if I'm available. I'm making content. I am running advertisements. I could have lots of people. These people will keep saying things like, I want to create a website. I want to create an app. Can you develop this? Can you develop that? So I'll keep having jobs. And then me myself, I'll go and employ so many people, right? With hopes that my business is very good, money is coming in. The the following months, I might not be available or business might not be as it is. And now we have lots of people who are active. In fact, most of the times, the people that we employed the previous months on full-time contracts, when we have completed most of the projects and new big projects doesn't come in, I now have to start paying these people from my own, money. And you'll be wondering what kind of nonsense structure is this? That is one thing about tech business. Sometimes you don't really see how nonsense it is till you step back. So having to know what I know now, I said I'm going to have it in a way where I only have people when I need them. So I wanted to create a system. The system is going to be like this. I will have developers, UI, UX, project managers, different kind of people, and I will onboard them. It means they will come to my company, they will apply to be a UI UX or something, and I would onboard them. By onboard them means I'll show them how our project works. They'll sign out the NDA or the no solicitation. There are lots of documents they would have to sign, which were the documents I did not know of. Right, but I had these intentions. I wanted to do something like this. I wanted a situation where they'll come in, we'll sign them, and so when we sign them, we will not approve them. So this means that we have given them approval. The ones that couldn't pass our compliance, maybe they couldn't do proper KYC or this background check, which reminds me, why I couldn't do so much on the previous employees that breached my trust was because I couldn't do KYC. So I didn't have my own means of doing the KYC to do background check. I didn't even ask for it. I didn't have a guarantor, like a guarantor forms. I was not. I just employed under trust. Never did it call to me certain things could go wrong. I mean, obviously, I was seeing things from the good islands. And so, to summarize the whole thing, this was part of the problem I had. So, it was later on when I started trying to browse, and I discovered that as a company, I would have done compliance. So, let me now show you what and how I finally decided to do it. I think I have my. Let me see if I can find this here and show you what I decided to do. Now, this is going to be a very long video. I don't like making my videos long. but I would arrive at where I'm coming to. Okay, so this is my form. Okay, this is it over here. Okay, perfect. So let me show you this model. I had modeled this few weeks ago. Okay, let me zoom out. Okay, so this is the model. So I'm going to show you the model. Uh, Apple. How do I even do it? Plus? Is it plus? Plus. Okay, is it plus? Okay. Okay, so look at it over here. So let's say somebody comes in to work for the Dannyokec Cybersecurity, which is the firm, which is my firm. So let's say somebody wants to become a contractor. The person wants to work with the firm, right? So the first thing we do is to pre-vet you. So this is where we ask you questions that will be related to whatever we want you to work on. So remember when I said we could have like developers, we could have like developers, let's say these are dev, UI UX, PM, which is project manager, blah blah blah. We could have like a job listing or a job advertisement, and then lots of people will come in. So we'll now first of all pre-vet them, which is try to know if they have the necessary skill we would need to like work in the company. Like, do you have this Node.js skills? Have you worked with Puppeteer before? You're a project designer or UI UX. Are you familiar with Figma? Like, want to know like the skills you have and if it's enough to work with what we're currently building on. So after we get to ask you those questions and your replies are quite good, so it means okay, you know what you're doing. So the second thing we're going to do is to get your government issued ID card. This is where we'll start asking you for things like if you can see over here, you can see how I marked it over here. Let me Okay, so if you look at here now, you can see although this was what I used to draw the diagram. So as of when I did this, I had not started writing the document. So I first draw, like anything I want to do, I first model, I draw them, I put them into drawings, then I convert them with AI into maybe documents or systems and whatever. Okay, so and I said, okay, I'm going to create a form. So the independent contractor, which is whoever is just coming to work for whatever project, they would have to give us their government issued ID card. And I also said I will create a form, needed, and this form would be a consent form because you cannot go do background check. It's called spy. People could people could sue you. They could sue you and tell you that you were going to ask questions about them. You were spying, invasion of privacy. So you need to get a form where they sign that, oh, you're giving them consent to do background check. And after that, we'll check their government issued ID card. If their government issued ID card is good, which is if we have done our background check and it's good, then we'll now know that okay, this person is legit. So we'll now give you your NDA, which means a no disclosure agreement. This is the document that will just say that come, whatever you see in this our firm like this, you should keep it confidential. This includes our source code, customer data, amongst other things. Now, without this, you cannot sue should a developer or a UI UX or whatever decides to want to use some of your intellectual property out, right? So, but if you have an NDA, then which is a no disclosure and confidentiality, then if they leak any of your confidential strategy, trade secrets, algorithm, or whatever, you can go file a lawsuit. So remember, you've already done vetting. So we did the vetting first. We verified who they are before we gave them the NDA. So followed by, we'll now show them our SOP, our policies, just to make sure that come in this company over here, these are the rules and the regulation. This is how we do things. This is our policies. This is our this is our that. So they will not have to go through it. Now, if they go through it and it's something that they don't have an issue with following, then we'll now give them a video call. Very important. So people don't say, I did not read it. I was so busy. I did not sign. Well, I did not know. They just brought the document that day, and the next thing they said, we'll have to return the document. So I just signed. the court will say, you see that I'm using the courts, it's because as a tech founder, you should always imagine you'll be appearing in front of court and Congress. Every single business you do, every single thing you do, you need to keep putting in your mind, keep telling yourself that things might go wrong. And so you should always think one steps ahead to make sure you're protecting yourself. So obviously, this is like a protection mechanism. So whoever is onboarding them from the HR department will do a video. And on this video, they would be like, oh, okay, do you know of this policy? Do you know of this policy? Are you? So they'll ask them critical questions that they know if they ever appear in court, they might say they don't know of. So things like or no solicitation policy. What does that mean? Okay, it means as a developer, I don't have any rights to go and contact, somebody we're building their project for to tell them I can do this at a cheaper rate, or to tell them they should, I cannot just go and take the company's customer for this amount of period of time. I don't have any reason or rights to contact them for whatever. So now this is for no solicitation. Now there are other similar documents like this and policies, but the aim is to ask them this on a video call and have them to reaffirm it, right? So you have them on evidence that you did confirm that they know what they were getting into. Okay, so this is for the vetting process, and I can actually walk you through the rest of the process. But basically, what I'm trying to just say is that I first had to sit down here and I started telling myself, okay, this is what I want it to be like when anybody comes on board, right? And so project onboarding, if it's okay, but if it's relapse, we invite it to the GitHub repo. So let's say if this was okay, but this is the point we're now inviting to our GitHub repo. Before now, we have vetted you, we know who you are, government issued ID card check, NDA signed, everything check. So we can now bring you on the products onboarding. And so when we bring you on the product onboarding, the next thing is to give you a test task. So this could be something like fix one thing on OKBot or add one feature to the OKBot. It's not like we really need that feature. We've already done it before in the past, but it's just for us to see how you can actually do on the field. Like, can you actually work, right? So like we have done we've checked your CV, we have asked you questions, we feel you know how to do this, but can you actually build on this project? So we'll give you like a test task. Followed by we'll now check your performance. How long did it take you? How was the code written? Did you write this code in line with the policies, our code standard? Did you do it the way we usually format it? Did you document your code properly? We want to know if, like right now, you are capable of actually working with us, right? But we didn't want to take your words for it at the beginning. We had to make sure you sign some documents so you don't get to use our codes against us. So this simply means that you could come in and apply before without this vetting, and then once you get access to the GitHub, you just clone or fork the project and run away. But that NDA and that whole vetting was to reduce the bad eggs. So when we finally have people vetted in, we know the people we have vetted in are the people we need on board. So back to my iPad now. So the aim right now is that when we have vetted these people, just like you're seeing over there, we will now keep them on a web, right? So on a web means we know these people could be good in certain kind of projects. So whenever a company or we ourselves want to develop or maintain or add features or do whatever on any of our projects, we would have to just contact one of the independent contractors. So it's like saying we're not paying you a monthly salary, but we just want to show you how our product works, train you, and whenever we need a job that has to do with developing, maintaining our project, we can call you and pay you an amount of fee depending on, what it's like. So for me, I choose to do it from daily. I choose to do a daily contract. So that's where I wanted to show you something. Intent. So this project was quite very challenging. I mean, why this was going on, I couldn't I couldn't share it with anybody. I couldn't talk to anybody because nobody would have been able to understand. But I wanted to write a contract for independent contractors, and I felt this was something that would need my whole attention because every single one of these things required some level of thinking about what the firm is going to look like long term and putting in my whole head into research. So, but this made me, I couldn't function, I couldn't do a whole lot. More specifically, because of this whole contract driving, I was unavailable. It was successful. I wrote lots of documents, a huge number of them. If like this is one of them, the job rate form. This is another one, the independent contractor form. if I head over to my Google Drive, I could show you so many other documents. Like all these ones, they are all documents. And I wrote all of them, or I got all of them using Gemini. So practically, I was introduced into a new strategy, which is why I'm making this video. Sorry, I didn't state that at the beginning. I had to give lots of context. So while I was trying to do this, it was very difficult to execute this. I knew I wanted to write an independent contract. I knew I wanted a system where people would come in, plug and play. They come in, do their job, and they go. But I also knew that I was not really ready. Like I was not ready for too much obligations. So I preferred an independent contract system. But then every single thing had to be considered. So I needed to write a detailed instruction of what I would want this whole contract to look like. And so I did it. But after I wrote the contract, which was almost a day, I did that in a day. The remaining part of the days were to chat with AI and to do every single document one after the other. And so this took me for more than 2 weeks. In fact, right now, I still have some on left to do. Anyway, so why am I making this video? I'm making this video because when I woke up this morning, I decided that I'm going to change my approach. So I'm going to be working this way now as a software tech founder. The first thing I'm going to do is to have my intentionality. What do I mean by intentionality? Now, if you don't really know, when you work with an AI, the best way to get the best results from the AI is to have what we call an intentions ahead of time. So an intention is like a list of things you would want to implement, just you thinking out loud. And then you take this list of things and you give it to AI. So let me explain what I mean. Okay, so me, for instance, I shared my company profile with Gemini, and then as I went front, I gave it my intent.md. So this intent.md right now, you might not be able to see it. Let me come in here and okay. So if you look at this intent.md, you can read it. It says mission to create contract and necessary documents for Nigerian technology company Dannyokec Cybersecurity and Software Programming Limited. Okay, blah blah blah. The contract and documents are for independent contractors and will be used for the company's core subsidiary as the parent, blah 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 blah. Guidelines, payment stroke salary and compensation is on workday basis. You can read from here. The contractor will receive payment on a daily basis for the days worked on completing or implementing an assigned task. The daily rate will be determined in a separate job rate agreement form signed by both parties. This agreed upon rate can be reversed upon to twice within 3 months by the contractor and up to 3 times within 3 months by DCSSP, which means Dannyokec Cybersecurity. So if you don't really understand what this means, is that for each time we vet you and you become a contractor, if there's any job we need you to do, we will be paying you daily for whatever it takes. Like, sorry, we'll pay you daily, like for whatever the job is. So let's say if this job is going to take you 5 days to do, depending on the conversation we had with you, and you have like a fixed pay of like let's say 50K per day. So for that 5 days, that'll be 250K. So you just head over, you code, you do your own thing, and you submit it, we approve it, you go. So it's like a plug and play. If you're not available, any other developer that were vetted, any other project manager, any other UI UX that is vacant will just come in. So that way people leave their creativity. Like their creativity becomes better off. They can decide they want to take out some time to work, and then after some time they want to go and take a new course. After some time they want to come and work again. So on the freelance world, it wasn't really that guaranteed, because we go to Fiverr and the rest, it's a whole different topic. I don't want to go into that. But then it's not that guaranteed. It's saturated. You are sometimes being employed by people who don't know what they're doing, and so there's little to it's not as easy as you have been vetted to be able to work on a particular repo or a project. You know how to build upon this repo. You can always be called upon. So it would always be able to just interswitch people. And more importantly, it's not just about our own products. This system makes it easy to be able to gather developers to execute any contract as they come by in the future. So that previous diagram I drew, right? Now it's easier. Whenever there's a lot of job coming, we just hire a lot of people. And whenever there's less need, for them, we don't even sack anybody, because we kind of contract you for a number of days, pay you for the days we need you. If you don't finish up the project and we've already agreed this amount of days is what we'll take for it, then it is up to you to finish it as quick as possible and send it to us, but we won't pay you for the extra days. Now, if it's something that maybe you made a mistake, we can come back and renegotiate and we can even top you more. But it's a bit more healthy where nobody feels like they're paying anybody for time that it did not work, and it reduces complexity. So, but back to what I wanted to share this morning. So, like you can see on my iPad right now, this particular one at first was intentionality. So just like I showed you guys over here on the um intent, I actually said a whole lot. I talked about how the contractors can renegotiate the days. I talked about how the contractors, they should not assign this job to someone else. So should we employ you to do a particular job, you don't have any right to take this job to someone else to tell them to do it for you, because our source code, our intellectual property, these are confidential information. We don't want to hear stories. So but if you don't write it on the contract, they will say you did not tell them. So anything you don't write on a contract, they will say that you did not tell them, right? So it has to be written on that contract. So that's why you can see where it says something around, okay, task. This one now was payment, talking about payments, right? The first one was talking about payments. You can see over here, I write these things in markdown. So this one is talking about payments. If you scroll down, this one is talking about task fulfillment. The task can be assigned on whatever platform. The contractor has 24 hours to relay back. The contractor may not delegate, and so many other things. This other one, confidentiality and security, So these were the kind of things I wanted. Okay, so why am I making this video? I'm making this video to introduce my new system. The new system is that whenever I have an intention, you see this microphone, I'm going to talk to Notebook LLM, because if I want to type, I don't know, it takes time to type. Takes time. Sometimes you spell, you make mistake. So I'm going to talk like I will tell the AI, come AI, see what I want to do. So when I'm done with telling it everything I want to do, as if I'm talking to a human being, it converts everything I've said into a test. Like it knows everything I want to do. It knows everything based on what I've discussed, right? It could gist back with me, blah blah blah. And after we're done with our conversation, I would now be able to say, okay, let's go to Gemini Pro. So this is where I will now be able to put it into a detailed list and then finally assign this task to somebody. Now this could be anybody, right? So now aside this thing, the second thing I want to do next is to start doing so well on customer management. TM, I would not feel bad even if sometimes I want to feel bad, and it's because um some days I wake up and I tell myself, you messed up, and I start hating on myself. So why am I hating on myself? I'm hating on myself because I feel I should have done something else. I should have done this, I should have done that. So most times I think I'm hard on myself. But the real truth is because sometimes I feel there's so much I have to do, but I don't know how to find somebody to help me do it, right? Because people find it hard to read. Like people find it hard to read in the sense that um social media has spoiled everything. Like in the past, people could sit down, they could read their book, they could want to learn. Now nobody wants to learn again. Everybody wants to, from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook. If you bring one paragraph and say, read this paragraph, for their brain has gone another place. They start pressing their phone. They say, what does chapter 2 say? Is it chapter 2? So the truth is that it's not by smartness, right? It's not about if you're smart or not. The only reason why I feel people might not really be paying attention much to detail is maybe because they're not really interested in it, right? So part of what I want to do right now is I want to be focused on my customers, which is my customer support. So I want to focus on my customer support. Meanwhile, I want to also start hunting. What do I mean by hunting? So I saw Dangote. They spoke to Dangote. They interviewed Dangote. Dangote said the secret of a big business, like if you want to be a big business, right? The secret of a big business is not you. Like you, the owner of the business, you're not the person that will make your business to grow. It's the people that are working for you. So Dangote is not in Kaduna. Dangote is not in Port Harcourt. Dangote is not in Lagos. But Dangote has people that are there. If Dangote carry people wey get shiko, we don't know anything, put there, the company will fold. So the hardest thing a business person must do, the hardest one, is to look for people that can actually understand what your company is all about and take it up from there. And the hardest part is for you to find them. The second hardest part is for you to be able to nurture them, right? Because um, let's take customer support for instance. So when I started doing business, I did not know how important it was to maintain customers. And most of my products had so many scandals. I had good products, oh, but I could talk to the customer today, and maybe because I cannot be available tomorrow, and nobody really understands what is going on, which is why I keep on making emphasis on what gets you a better company is the people you put in place, right? So now, if you don't have good people you have put in place to help you run and manage this firm, what happens after a period of time is that you would only have your business going well at the department that you're currently active on. So let me show an example. Imagine now this is your company. Your company has so many departments. This one is department 1. This one is department 2. This one is department 3. Now, the problem is if you don't have the right people, the only company that will be good will be the one you're currently in at the moment. So let's say if you're in business 3, then if you're in compartment 3 now could be coding. This means now that everything related to software department now is going very well because you're currently administering the team, you're checking out on them, you're making sure the code quality and everything is good. Now, what happens to customer support is bad. Customers are not even being responded to. What happens to general operations and compliance, making sure everything that has to be sorted out is paid for? That would be bad, right? So, and this was what happened to me. So now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to create a system in which I will be able to have my intentions as tasks and assign them to people that will be able to execute those tasks. You understand? Be able to say, come, this is what I want you to do, and pray to God that this person is someone that is hearing word. And I think the hardest part of life now is looking for people that is hearing word. Somebody would I wanted to share something, but let me let it go. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but then it's the hardest thing to do. But anyway, it's going to be easier for me because I discovered that no matter how dumb somebody is, if you give them a well-detailed description of what you want them to do, they will have better chances doing it than when they are smart and you did not tell them in detailed explanation. So if someone is so dull, but you tell them if you enter here, do like this to the left and go like this, do like this to the right and go like this, it will be easier, right? If they can follow you to, versus when you have a very smart person and you just say, go there and find me so and so thing. See what will happen. You see that person, you give detailed explanation. He will go there, he will look left, look right, he will open that particular box. They will go and bring that thing you tell them to bring and come. You see that person that is very, very smart that you told, go and bring this thing for me. You did not give the person instruction. If the person gets there, they'll be like, which of the wardrobe will this thing be? Okay, it's a document. If it's a document, where did they used to keep document? So the person will be slower versus the person that you already told exactly what to do. So I want to try and start writing all my intentions, which is the first one. And then finally, I want to focus more on customer relation. Now I'm going to be doing this for the next 3 months, and let me see how business is going to go. So this is we're on the 5th month. Let's say this is the first binary quarter, pre-binary quarter reports. Okay, so my next January, February, March, April, May, June is going to make it our biannual, rather, not quarter, annual. In a year, we have quarter. Quarter is 1/4. So January, February, March was the first quarter of 2025. April, May, June, second quarter. So in a year, we have 4 quarter, and we have two biannual. So the first 6 months is the biannual. The second 6 months is another biannual. But the two of them is annual, which is 1 year. So this year has gone 5 months. Next year, next month is going to make it 6 months. So this means next year will be next month. This year has gone 5 months. Next month will make it half of this year, which is biannual. So in the next few weeks, which will be next month, I'm going to show you all how the company is doing. I will describe what strategy is working. But as for now, I want to write my intentionality like this, arrange it and deploy it to somebody. And I want to teach these systems to people who would want to learn. So if you're watching this video and you want to learn how to assign tasks, you have a tech firm, you want to know how to arrange your company, you know, I have a free membership for now, right? You can come and join. If I post videos like this, you can come and ask me questions and I'll reply you. Okay, so till next time, everyone, this is Dannyokec. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you all next week.